Hey guys, Chris here. So right behind me we have a 2014 Audi RS6 Avant. I'm here at my friend TS Autosalg. This is his dealership. We're inside because outside it is cold, it is winter, it's actually snowing. He has a lot of cars outside I want to show you guys. And since this car isn't on winter tires, I can't take a test drive, but I will give you guys, an exhaust clip and show you guys this car in detail. But for other cars, please check out the link down below to my friend's dealership. He has a lot of cool cars. This is one of the coolest cars he has here in stock now. Starting off with the exterior, this color is called Daytona Gray Metallic, a classic Audi color, and this also has this foiled strip here, matte black with red accents. I actually think it looks quite cool. I'm not sure if I would keep it if I got, purchased this car, but well, it is a cool detail which gives this car, a bit more character. This is the pre-facelift model, being the 2014 model, so you have this LED strip here, and then this also has the LED headlights, so you can see all the LED jewels there. This was one of, the first Audis to get the LED lights, and I do bet that they are great as they are in new Audis. Up front we have, the classic RS honeycomb grille, RS badging there, and this, this matte black, partially shiny black honeycomb grille, which looks very cool. And then you also have the side vents down here, also in honeycomb, and then you have a brake duct there to the side, and then you also have down here the fog lights, and you also have that on the right side. Just looks similar. And then down below here you have this chin, this front splitter, which also is in this this shiny, partially matte black paint color. And then moving over to this side, let's check out the other side because we have more space on this side. This has some some aftermarket 22-inch wheels. So the tires on these are Vulcan Asensis FK 453s. They are 295 25 22s, and I do think these black, or rather gunmetal gray matte wheels look very cool, because unique to the RS6 you have these flared fenders. You can see how much they are flaring out, giving this car a very aggressive stance, and you can also see that from the rear. So these cars really do need some big wheels to complement the masculine and massive stance of the car. You can see just how wide that sits with the flared rear arches and the flared front arches. Moving over to the side, we have the classic, brushed aluminum finished mirrors. You also have that detail around the windows, and also the roof rail is in that, that satin metallic finish, which Audi do very nicely. They are very cool, and otherwise the side is just very clean. You have this side skirt here, which is unique to the RS6, complementing those wide fenders. And you can just see just how concave and wide these wheels are. I really do like the look of that. You have tinted windows from the B pillar and backwards. And this car has, I don't know what this is, Mint and RS Sport, some stickers here. Sure, you can remove that if you want to. Moving over to the rear, and this is one of the most aggressive rears in a station wagon. You have the classic oval RS, the RS tips, and this also has an aftermarket Milltek resonated exhaust, which just sounds spectacular. And I do think that this is also this is not original. This is some foil here, but that's a really cool detail. I think that's a really cool way to just accentuate the rear diffuser there. I do like that detail. That's probably something I would do on my own. And also the rear LED lights. You have the RS6 badging there, tinted rear window. So, there isn't much happening in the rear. Everything is just very clean looking, but it does look very aggressive. The overall stance and the exterior appearance of this car is very clean but very aggressive. Audi do make these subtle sporty super station wagons that to, you know, anything but an untrained eye doesn't look like anything much, but to real car guys, to petrol heads, to gear heads, you know what this is when you see this in the rear mirror. So before we step inside, just want to show you guys the key of this Audi R6. So this is classic last generation Audi key design. This is very similar to the key on our Audi A4 we used to have, our 2012 model, just with a bit more chrome details, with a bit more, you know, shiny plastic, and you also have the RS badging there. So it's your classic lock, this is your trunk, and then this is your unlock. But this car has keyless go and keyless entry, so I'm going to put the key back in my pocket and show you guys just how you open and close this car. This does have automatic folding mirrors when you unlock and lock the car, though the setting is not activated in this car. But you put your finger or your thumb here to lock, and you can also do that on the rear door if I'm not mistaken, and then you put your hand behind here to unlock the car. You can do that on all of the exterior doors, which is very practical. So put your hand behind here. So if that function was activated, the mirror, you know, would fold and unfold while you're locking and unlocking the car. So opening up the driver's side door, and this is where you can see, you know, that this is kind of, you know, last generation, because this is a top spec Audi RS6 with every option. But before, you didn't get, you know, things like leather on the doors, which is very normal now, but you just didn't get that, you know, back in the day. You know, this is a platform that dates back to 2010, if I'm not mistaken, though this is a 2014 model, but still very high quality materials. You know, Audi just have impeccable build, and especially their switchgear. And this has a really cool, this pinstriped black wood trim here, which I'm just totally in love with. I hope that other manufacturers would, you know, copy this, because it just looks spectacular and is matte in the finish. So this is much nicer than all that, you know, that piano black stuff they're doing today, especially if you saw my Audi Q8 video, where basically the whole dashboard was piano black finish. If they could, you know, deliver the car with this finish instead, it would look much better, and it would also be much easier to keep clean and free of fingerprints. So here you have your door release, and that is just massive metal, and I think this is somewhat of an Audi RS feature. I saw that on the Audi RS4 I filmed earlier this year, that this is cut out to save weight. Yeah, this is a 2-ton car, so that's a bit funny. So lock, unlock, here you have your memory settings, and these, you know, these switches just feel, everything just feels so solid. And then down here you have beautiful Napa leather door insert, and then you have beautiful stitched Napa leather here on the armrest and on the grab handle. You have these really nice window switches, which have these satin chrome bits on the edge here, and they just feel very nice and very clicky. Audi do the best switchgear in the business and everything but the ultra luxury segment. And then down here you have soft touch plastics. They feel very nice. And on the inside you have a rubber mat on the bottom here, so stuff doesn't, you know, make a lot of noise when they're flying around. And this also has the optional top of the line Bang Olufsen sound system. So I'm going to do a whole separate review on that in the next video, so please subscribe to catch that video. Moving over to the rest of the interior, you have this Audi RS6 illuminated scuff plate, and I also see that this also has the illuminated Audi logo beneath the doors. Not my cup of tea. I do think that's a bit cheesy, but though practical. And here you also have the seat switches. They are electrically adjustable. This car has ventilated seats and massaging seats. These are the comfort seats, so you can see they are perforated and beautiful Napa leather. And though this car has, you know, is 4 years old and has done a fair bit of miles, it's not a new car. This interior just looks very nice and is very nicely held up. This has the Audi exclusive floor mats, thick carpeting, and you also have the RS pedals there, which look very nice. So let's go ahead and take a step inside and just move the seat a bit backwards and then a bit up. So you're granted with this RS6 sports steering wheel, which is last generation Audi sports steering wheel which has this, this perforated leather all around the steering wheel. You have RS badging there. The airbag cover is just in plastic, but it feels high quality. It is soft touch. On the left side here, you have the buttons to navigate the screen up there, and these are actually very similar to the buttons we have on our 2018 Audi A4. Let's just hit the ignition button there to bring up the screen. Turn down the radio. And yeah, this gauge cluster is beeping because the door is open. Okay. This has a very similar gauge cluster to our 2018 Audi A4, where you have a large, analog tachometer on the left, and then you have a large analog, speedometer on the right, and then you have this large screen in between where you can scroll between speed. You have your, I think you can get your navigation prompts at least. You can't get a map view. I don't think you can get a map view, but you can get navigation prompts up there on the screen. Scrolling with this button, and then you can move up and down the stations with this button, and you can also do different kinds of settings on the trip computer, and then you can also enter the trip computer from that button. Here you have nav information, and you also have a programmable button there, and then you have your voice control, and then you have your audio, your sound. Your volume is called, actually, your scroll wheel there, and then you press to mute, though you can skip forwards and backwards, which is what they have on the new Audis. It still looks very nice, and these nice, chrome details around here, this satin chrome, is a theme in this car, just, accentuates and elevates the quality of the interior. This also has the shift paddles behind the steering wheel, which are beautiful. They are actually plastic, but they do feel very nice. Moving over to the center screen, so this is Audi's old MMI. So just gonna hit the navigation there, and that looks like last generation Audi. I'm not going to show you guys too much, but you have these 4 corners up here which correlate to the buttons down there. So you have tour, info, destination, and settings. So if I hit the left corner, you're going to go to tour. Right corner or left corner bottom, you're going to go to destination, and then you have info up there, and then you can go back. You have your menu and so on and so forth, and you also have your quick presets there to radio. You have nav, you have telephone, you have media, and you have your menu there. Going out to the menu, that's what that looks like, and you scroll, though you don't have a pad here, so you can write. So that was what that looks like. It does look rather nice. It still looks modern, though new nav systems and infotainment screens are really moving away from this in this day and age. You have a button here to fold that away, so that is very, very cool. Just gonna put that back up, and then here you reset your trip computer in the center screen. You have your air vents, and here you have more of that beautiful, beautiful black wood here with that pin strip. I really do like that. This is something you don't see a lot today. This is an optical disk drive, and then you have this behind here, which is your, you open that? You open that with a button. SD and SIM card right here in the dashboard. That is practical, but it does take up a lot of real estate here. Modern cars, do that down here in the center storage and stuff like that. So you have your auto start stop defeat. Here you have your park in and park out, park sensors, and also your traction control and stability control on and off button. And this is something I really do like, which a lot of manufacturers are moving away from today, which is the physical climate control buttons. You have buttons, you have knobs. That is very welcome. These are knurled and in chrome. I do like that satin chrome. They feel very nice and clicky, and you also get them up on the screen, though I think that is a bit redundant and takes your attention away from the road. And then you have, all your buttons here. You have your cooled seats, you have your heated seats, and your temperature and stuff like that. And then down here in the center console, this is connected to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really sure that this RS6, this V8, this 4-liter 560 horsepower V8 is connected to a ZF or ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's really cool. It has this perforated leather finish here, and then this satin chrome here, and then it just feels very nice, very solid, very sturdy. Electronic parking brake, electronic hold, and then you have a touchpad here. Can you write with this touchpad? Let's try that if you can write with the touchpad. If you go to navigation and then you enter an address, can you, let's see if we can enter something. Yeah, I think we can actually write. So let's go O. Yes. S. L. Oh. Okay, so that's really cool. So modern Audis have that on top of the scroll wheel, or the all new Audis actually don't have. They have the touch response MMI, which is all touchscreen. But the generation between that and this has the writing pad on top of the scroll wheel. But this has its own pad here to the left, which is very welcome. I wasn't expecting that, but that is really cool. On the right side, you have the engine start stop, or the engine ignition switch, and then you have your volume knob down here, which is very practical. Audi are one of the few manufacturers that really understand that you rest your hand down here while driving. So having your volume and your track forwards and backwards down here is very, very practical. Bravo, Audi. And then over here, you have a few cup holders, so you don't have too much storage. I forgot to show you this. Well, you actually have a large storage there, which, well, swallows my iPhone XS. So that is very nice and very deep and very welcome. I do like that. That's very practical. A pleasant surprise. But you do have these cup holders back here, and then you have this armrest here, which in typical Audi fashion is adjustable, so you can move it up here. You can have some storage. This has a 12-volt power outlet there, and then you have your music interface there, or media interface, with an adapter cable. But you can also adjust this height-wise, and then you can adjust it length-wise. Can you? Yeah, you can. No, you can't. You can't. There's no reach adjustability, but you do have a hidden storage bin here, so that's very cool in felt. So that's what that looks like. Up here we have a large panoramic sunroof, though modern panoramic sunroofs do seem to be just a bit bigger even in Audis. That is very welcome. So let's go ahead and check out the rear seat. Let's just turn off the ignition so this car stops beeping at us. So even though this is a 4-year-old car that has been used, it does feel very nice and very solid while opening and closing the doors. So the rear doors have the same soft touch plastics, that same dark wood with the pinstripes, which is just so beautiful. That same, door release with a cutout to save weight. And then you have the same beautiful Napa leather in the insert on the armrest, and then you have a small storage here, which I do think looks like an ashtray, but it isn't an ashtray, but it does look like an ashtray. And then you have beautiful switches here, really nice and clicky, soft touch plastics down here, and then you have that beautiful Bang & Olufsen speaker grill. Even the rear plate here says RS6 and is illuminated. This is the rear seat. It is huge. Like in any car this size, very easy entrance and access. This is soft touch, soft leather, and then it has a map pocket here. You can see there is a lot of space. I have this seat sat way back, but I'm not the tallest person at 5'7", but I still have plenty of room. You have air vents for the rear seats there. You also have air vents for the rear seats here. This has 4-zone climate control with heated rear seats, which is very welcome. And these seats are very comfortable, really nice thigh support. And you have a lot of room here for your feet, for your legs, really nice in the back. And then you have here, you have an armrest. Doesn't feel like that has ever been used. You can open it up here, and then you have your medical kit here. And do you have more storage? No, that's all your storage. So that's a bit disappointing that you don't have more storage, but you do have cup holders, and that's what that looks like. This reminds me a bit of our Audi A6 we had back in 99. A 99 Audi A6. It just somehow reminds me of that. That feels very nice and very solid. And then you have ISOFIX points here. And then the cover, that's one of those covers where you actually remove it. It doesn't move out of the way. So lastly, guys, let's check out the trunk. I do think this has an electric tailgate. Yes, it does. Very silent in operation. And it has the trunk cover that moves out of the way automatically when you open the trunk. That is very welcome. You have a huge space behind here. The A6, S6, R6, these A6 base station wagons have always had large trunks, very square, very nice. You have this scuff plate here to protect in and out loading, and then you have this thing here to hold stuff in place, and then you have your pocket here on the side, which is also very practical, and you can fold the rear seats from there. And I do think, no, you can't actually lock the car from here, so that's the feature that new cars with, you know, keyless entry have. So before we end the video, I just want to give you guys a sound test of this engine and what it sounds like. So without further ado, let's fire this thing up. Woo, woo, woo. 4-liter V8, 560 horsepower, and Milltek resonated exhaust. Just gonna have it shut up a bit. That sounds very nice and very sweet. So there you go, guys. That was my exterior tour, my interior tour, and just a sound test, a sound clip of the exhaust on the 2014 Audi RS6. So be sure to check out my friend's webpage, check out his dealer website in the link down below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.